Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast today. Excited to have you here. It is Thursday's motivation, and I am fired up. Hey, ask yourself, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? All right, welcome to the call today, everyone. I'm excited you're here. It is Thursday, and we are getting situated here. I had a little traffic to contend with this morning, so I'm just getting myself here. I am excited. Let me turn this so that this is on the talk and not the speaker. I feel like I'm hearing something there. All right, fired up. Good morning. Hey, good morning, Colleen. Welcome to the call today. And Mark, if you can get the air a little lower in here because I'm in a sweat. Fired up, you guys. It's going to be 90 degrees here in the Carolinas, and we have actually, in our area anyway, dried up. We're good. My prayers go out to those that are on the beach, though, and toward the shore points in Wilmington. Good morning, Meg. Good morning, Jamie from Maryland. Oh, he's home. I saw your post from wherever you were overseas. I lose track of you. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, you're welcome. The best call of the week. Mike, I love that. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Good morning, Kim. Let me go ahead and swipe these. The Wilmington area where I actually broadcast on the radio twice a week got blasted, and I just my heart and my prayers go out to all of those in that area. Anywhere on the beach points, we're gonna have a little issue here over at the shore points as it starts to dry out some of those areas. And you saw some of the water rescues, and I know it went up through the Northeast as a really a torrential rainstorm, but we really saw some wild winds and things of that nature, but nothing like, thank God, what they experienced over there. So we're good. A lot of people asked, so I thought I'd just cover that topic right now. Let's talk about it today here, discipline. Even going into a storm like that, what were your disciplines? Some people don't heed the warnings and stay on they want to just be with their things or whatever the case may be. I think those that did that probably learned a lesson. But what are some of the disciplines that if you could stay where you're at, even getting ready or prepared for that? If we would prepare our lives the way we prepare for a storm like that, oh my gosh, if you guys need some water, I've got water. We have water. I was ready to provide the whole neighborhood with water. And I had some meal replacement shakes. I had it going on to help everybody around me. So there was some discipline in that. But what is, in that same discipline, if we took that type of discipline to the table for our workspace and what we do, ask yourself, what are you going to do for the rest of your life? Do you think that you just got here and you're supposed to work and get off on weekends maybe, and do it again next week and over again, and 5 days a week to take 2 off, 50 weeks a year to take 2 off, and then ultimately you retire and then you go and you die and that's it? No, you're here to make a difference for everyone around you. Everyone around you is counting on you. They don't know it, and you may not know it till just now. They're counting on you to rise up to your fullest potential that you have inside of you. So what are you doing about it? What are you doing with your time? What's your desire? Guys, what is your desire? So many people have a desire to live this lifestyle, and they want it yesterday. To live a lifestyle of, I always say, the rich and not so famous. The ability to have freedom is really, I believe, my driver, and I think it's a lot of people's driver. The more I speak to people, the more I start to realize that, I don't know, some people I speak to are still driven by things, and that's okay. The Lord blesses us with things, and we actually have some nice things. Praise the Lord. But it's not what drives me. What drives me are the things we have, the boat and the surfing and all that, gives us an opportunity to be together as a family and to be with the people we love. The ability to have that type of freedom, to make an incredible fortune for yourself so that you're free. Can you imagine being free? Just pick up and go, hey, yeah, what do you want to do? Yeah, let's go to Disney this weekend. We've got some time off, and fly down there and stay at a nice resort by the place and get speed passes. Imagine if that wasn't a problem. I'm not bragging, but you know what? What most people do is they check themselves out. Oh, that's never going to happen. You know what? You're right. It's not going to happen if you're going to say that. If you would rise up to the occasion and say, you know what? I have in me what anyone else that's had success has in them. And that's desire, first of all, but then you have to put the action steps behind it, which requires a discipline and a dedication. I'm going to tell you something. Take this to the bank. Because I already said everybody wants it yesterday, but it's the person who can stick through it and do the do every day and not quit. And I'm not going to say that that's easy, because you look at the mountain, you look at a big staircase of your goals. So on the top of the goals is what I was just describing. And on the very top of this place, you're thinking, I'm going to get there. But then you start the climb and you realize, man, this is not easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Nobody said it wasn't going to be where you're going to have to spit in the face of fear and do things that are uncomfortable. You're going to have to do things that are uncomfortable until they're comfortable. You must spit in the face of fear to have success. I'm telling you right now. And if you would do it over and over and over again, you're going to expand the comfort circle that you roll in. Right now, you have a comfort circle that you think that you can only do this or only do that, or I don't do this, or you believe the lie, oh my goodness, I can't do what they do because, I was born this way. Or, you know what? Most people weren't born in an environment that causes them to have the success set up so that they had all of the things that were spoken life into them, and they had all the stuff, and they were given this thing with a silver spoon. Most people who you look at as successful work their tails off to get there. It's the people who you see that give rich people a bad name. First of all, they don't have Jesus, but who give rich people a bad name are usually the people that were born into these hugely successful families, and they have an attitude about it that they think that they're all of that or whatever because they didn't have to work for it. Work is good, guys. You guys can go out and work hard. God said, go out and work. Fill the earth, go out and provide for yourself. But what happens is most people don't do that. What happens is they think that they want what everybody wants. Everybody wants to have like this life of success and all this kind of stuff. Listen, yesterday I met with another very successful person in our industry. He's the top in their industry. They've got a warehouse that's bigger than my company's warehouse. Guys, we were in a warehouse that was bigger than the company, which the company I'm with is $1 billion company, $1 billion a year company. It's huge. Their warehouse, that's just theirs, is bigger than, but you know what? They're 44 years advanced of when we got in. We've been doing what we've been doing with this company now for 11 years almost. They've been doing it for 54 years. It was consistent. Was it easy the whole time? No. Is it fun? It can be. Are there times when you want to throw in the towel? You better believe it. My daughter said, Mommy, how do you do the same thing over again, over and over again? I said, because what seems old to me, and I've done it 14,000 times, listen, is new to them. I've probably forgot more than what most people write books about in my industry. And I say that not trying to be prideful or anything like that. It's just the fact. Most people that are writing books about what I do haven't done what I've done. I've been in the trenches. Guys, I work in health and wellness. I've been between people's crotches, lots of people's crotches, measuring the upper thigh. Who does that? And I've done it over and over and over and over. Thousands probably of people. And I work with people and I care about people. That's what we want to see happen in the world. Because the more we focus as a society and as people on other people and their success and their needs and what it is that they want, the more successful you become. The more irreplaceable. You're not replaceable. You're not replaceable because most people won't do it. They're all about themselves. In a world that's all quick, fast, go, you're even getting mad in the fast food line because it didn't come out fast enough. That's the type of world we live in. Buy it today, pay for it later. Now they're in all this debt. What does that cause? All sorts of stress and anxiety, which is a place where is that causing? Well, you might be able to tell me, but we can all just, conclude it's causing a lot of stress and anxiety. It's causing fighting. It's causing marriages to break up. Everything that the devil wants. The devil's a liar. He's after your marriage. He wants to break it up. Listen, if you don't understand that you have an enemy, I've talked about that in the past few episodes on here. Just go back on my website and I'll tell you what, you're going to find out that there is an enemy of your soul that doesn't want your success. He wants you to be trapped. There are people that think he's the answer. Believe it or not. I know it's hard to believe. But I just don't want you to be one of those people that make excuses. I don't want you to be one of those people that you're so attached to who you've been. Like, you say things like, well, I've always been this way. How's that working for you? You've always been this way. Well, how's that working out for you? Do you realize that the first few minutes of a day will put your whole day into a specific direction? And do you know what most people do every single morning? For the first hour or more, they're on their phones. They're in their emails. They're looking at, and you know what that's doing? It's directing your whole life. I know that I'm not the first person telling you to stop that. For the first hour of your day, write down what it is. What are your goals? What are you going to accomplish for today? What are the most important things to accomplish? Listen, in order for you to achieve anything great, you've got to have a plan. Do you even have a plan? And then, of course, once you have the plan, there's steps to achieve what it is to get to the big goal. You need to accomplish the smaller things. So the huge staircase, yeah, it looks overwhelming. Just get on the first step. Just get up on the step and watch what happens. One step, then look at just the next step. Don't look at the top thing. What's going on? Same thing with goals. If you would discipline yourself every morning, but what do people do? We tend to make wrong choices. And what happens is wrong decisions, you don't get there on time. You don't wake up on time. You're not going to bed early enough. You know, maybe the way you've always been is that, oh, I'm a night person. Well, how's that working out for you when you're late to work, or you're fighting with the alarm clock, or you're mad that the morning came? How's that working for you when you get to work late? Because why? Because you're going to live on the fact that, well, I'm a night person. Well, get over it. Listen, maybe you need to make a habit change. Habit takes time. It's been said that it's 30 days to change a habit. It's just a matter of what you're used to. So maybe your routine requires you to go to bed a half hour or an hour or more earlier so that you can wake up and watch how amazing you feel, and watch those same people that used to annoy you at work aren't annoying you anymore because you got enough sleep. What if these little tiny twists of habit started to happen for you, where you're going to start to see major changes? What if your decisions that you've been making, though, because it's all about, really, it's a discipline, but it's all about decisions. Did your decision to snap at your kids, your decision to not speak at a meeting, or not, your decision to not encounter somebody or meet somebody or get out of your comfort zone to go up and start a conversation with somebody in line at the bank? How's that working for you that you're not pushing yourself? Listen, they don't bite. Nobody smacked me. When I talk to people, it's, look for people. The whole idea of connecting with people involves looking for people who are present. You're not looking to connect with people who are, have a mad face, they're busy, they're preoccupied, you can tell they're thinking about something else, they're in la la land. I mean, again, we do tend to live in a world where everybody's got headphones on. I get that. So sometimes connecting now can be a little bit more, you've got to kind of observe. But sometimes what happens is if you see that they're happy, you can even watch people's posture and the bounce in their steps to determine what type of person they are. Guys, those are the people to approach. You don't have to approach the one that looks like a grump. This is a choice. Guys, when we work and we work with people, which that's what I do, so I can't help but talk about what I do, I put everything first, is that their success, what is it about them? It's not about me telling them everything that they need to do. I ask questions. Those questions, this discipline didn't just happen either, by the way. The discipline of connecting with people, guys, I don't know if you know it or not, but I used to be shy. I mean, I was preached over as a kid. She's shy. I even look at my kids today, and they film on the Instagram, and they talk into the Instagram. I'm getting there. I generally film like my dogs or something because I think they're cute. But the truth is you push yourself, and you'll start to see I'm going to start to talk more into the Instagram. That's not easy for me. For me to do these isn't easy. For me to get it up in front of crowds of people isn't easy. But when you have something in you so pressing, so awesome, that you know you can set the world free, set the world on fire. It's in you, guys. Listen, I want you to think about, like, every single tree is a seed. Think about that. Every seed has potential in the success of a tree. There is a seed that's in you. You're it. You're the tree. There's seed in you. The seed's been sown. You were born with this potential, but what is it? What is going to come out of you? If you don't water it, nurture it, spit in the face of fear, go out and do the thing, put yourself out there. If you don't do it, it's not going to come to fruition because you're not nurturing it and fertilizing that seed. It's in you. You are born for greatness. You might not know that. Maybe today you're hearing it for the first time, but every one of us is born for greatness. We may not all have been born into an environment that supports or nurtures or fertilizes that as a kid. So now it's time to wake up, forgive, let it go, let the people go that hurt you, because it's just part of what we live in a world that's fallen. Guys, so many people ask me, if there is a God, why is all this stuff going on? Well, we live in a fallen world. And you know who the God of this world and the God of many people is? A small g God, Satan himself, behind the mask of all the things that this world is providing for us, which are the things and the entertainment and all the nonsense. And that God steals everything from God. Large G, God, Jesus, the Lord himself, created you for greatness. And you're on this planet to make a difference and bring light into a dark and dying world, to help people to also, so again, remember, focusing on people, it's not about you, but it's about you getting out of your own way to help other people, because you've been placed strategically. I believe there's a strategic plan to place you in environments to make a difference. When you walk into a room, do you make a difference? When you pop around, do you bop around, or are you looking like you're scared, you don't want to talk to anybody, and you're believing the lie that, well, this is how I've always been. You're believing the lie that maybe your parents, like my parents, spoke over me that I was shy. Everybody that came in was, she's shy, she's shy. And I believed that lie for a long time. And then I started to spit in the face of fear. It wasn't easy for me. It wasn't easy for me to walk up to people cold or to start conversations. Guys, it might not be easy, but it's worth it. And you know who's watching you? Everyone. Your kids are watching you, your family's watching you. When you rise up to greatness, to where you're supposed to be, everybody around you is hold on, I was gonna say applauding you, but I've gotta speak to something. There are something called dream stealers. Don't even think there aren't dream stealers. And sometimes the dream stealers are the people closest to you. And what I mean by that is, what I'm speaking to now is a select group of people that really are going to run with this and realize, you know what, if I don't commit to myself, nobody's committing to me. Listen, all these dreams I just told you about, so many people want somebody to come in, and if I said, hey, I'm going to buy you and your family a trip to Disney, you'd take it. If I said, hey, I'm going to buy you the new car that you've been dreaming about, you would take it. If I said, hey, I'm going to come in and get that house on the lake or on the ocean that you wanted and it's on me, you would take it. I got news for you. Nobody's doing that for you. You've got to do it. You've got to go out there and strategically, through discipline, the daily action steps of becoming successful at the very minute little details. Get on the first step. What are the first steps for you? For us, I'll tell you what it is. It's connecting. For us, it's connecting. I know social media has this, there's people making a lot of money doing social media. That's not how Herb and I worked what we do. We work with people, and we've done it person to person, and we know how to connect. That's the first step. But part of that is drilling the fundamentals. So part of even connecting with people is having what it is that you're wanting to accomplish with the conversation. Not that you have an ulterior motive all the time, but if you're looking to be good at something, then you need to know that if I'm going to call people and I don't have a whole bunch of time to call all the people I want to call, I have to limit my conversation with them on the phone. That means I have to know what I'm calling them about and for, and what is my ultimate goal of this conversation. Is it to tell them the whole thing and take an hour with each person, or is it to put them in front of some information for them to gather the information so that they can make an informed business decision? And then what is important on my behalf? Next thing is follow up. The fortune is in the follow up. How many times a day am I reaching out, or do I have an orderly system to reach out to people? Do I know when to stop it? Am I annoying people? If you feel like you're annoying someone, you probably are. So stop. Listen, you must ask. And at that point, I would even say to somebody, listen, you know what, Jack, this might not be for you, and I don't want to become an annoyance to you. Just let me know. And then if he says, yeah, I don't know if this is going to be good, I said, that's great, fantastic. Hey, Jack, is it okay if I stay in touch with you from time to time to let you know how things are going? I have never had anybody say no. Everyone wants you to. I've never had anyone say no. I've never had somebody spit in my face. I've never had somebody punch me. I've never had somebody, be rude to me like that. Why? Because you know what? We admit, if you're emitting happiness, guys, work on this. So maybe some people listening today's first step is to get some mirrors around their workspace, where every phone call you make, you're watching yourself in a mirror so that you can actually see that you're happy. Like you actually remind your face. Put a smile on your face. Why? Because the people can hear the smile. If you're smiling, they can hear it. Listen, if you're lying down doing a phone call, guess what? They know there's no energy in that call. For me to sit here and be sitting, it's hard for me. I like to get up. I'm always walking around and working with people. So when I do now these Zoom calls or calls on here, my arms get flailing because I'm used to walking around and expending energy, because people feel my energy. People like energy. People like people with passion. You've got passion. You've got enthusiasm. You know why I know that? Because the very same people that won't get enthusiastic about what we do, and you might see the goals at the top of the staircase. You might see that you want all the freedom, but you don't act like it. But I saw you at the game. I saw you freaking out when your team scored the touchdown. I know you have passion inside of you. You've got passion for something. You know what? I'm very passionate about quite a few things. The number one passion in my life is the Lord. I get passionate about that. When I speak about Jesus, I can't help it. Hey, you know what? I got to give a plug. We have an upcoming event in October 25 through 28. It's going to be amazing here in Charlotte. If you're not registered for that, hey, Mark, put this website, www.besetfreelife.com. And we just had an update with that website, by the way. So if you go in and you see the event on the bottom, it has the agenda, but there's been a hiccup in that because the company actually, something happened and they transferred ownership, I don't know, but they can't now adjust the agenda. And what's going on is on Thursday night, we're going to go over what we do. So if you're listening, somebody brought you here, you want to come see what we do, you're welcome. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina. Mark is my assistant. He's going to be putting on the thread below the exact location and all of that. And of course, just go to besetfreelife.com and you'll be able to click on it and it comes up. But I want to just speak to the agenda because it's wrong. Straight up, there's a miss. There's a missing hiccup. Number one, a lot of it's right. The whole thing's not wrong. But Thursday night, we're going to do an overview. So bring yourself, your people. It's free for guests. We're going to have so much fun. You can come check us out. Check me out. I believe Herb and I are scheduled to be actually going over the overview. So we're going to be having some fun. He and I love what we do. And I'm telling you, we are at a time right now where things are explosive, so we're fired up. So we got Thursday night. Friday morning, we're going to do something like what you're hearing here most Thursdays, which is motivation Bible-based. It's going to be deeper. It's for those people who really want to get deep in the Word of God and deep in the Lord, and maybe are interested in taking the next step to dedicate your business to the Lord. When we did that, our business doubled. Why? None of this is ours. Not the cars, not the boats, not the houses. All of these beautiful blessings from above are not my God. They're not my God. I don't, you know, again, we bought a car, and the guy we bought the car from would go out in his garage, and he would have a glass of wine, and he would look at his car, and you could eat off the engine. A beautiful car. He was just so engrossed with this car. My brother-in-law wanted to buy it, but he wasn't going to sell it. So he bought his own new car or whatever, because he wasn't going to wait. And then it came up that this guy wanted to part with this car. Anyway, we buy it. He would flip if he saw it today, because it certainly is not like that. We drive it. But the truth is I want you not to look at the things as God's. The blessings come later. What is the eternal thing that you can look at for your... It makes you so happy. Guys, it makes me so happy. Are people. If we can bless people, and help people. And for me, it's all about helping people for eternity, an eternal thought process. So this event, that Thursday morning, is going to be more depth into the Word of God, and then we're going to go and we take a break. We have a lunch break, and we'll get into the whole event. Friday, I think we're starting at 1 or 1:30. You can check the agenda, and we go through Saturday and then through Sunday. And we've got some major speakers, doctors who've created formulators. We've got some major leaders, other company millionaires with us. I don't know, those of you that know Audrey and James. Audrey was our former nanny, who's now a company millionaire at 26 years old. And her husband's 26, I believe. Yeah, don't quote me. You can ask them when you see them. And it's going to be an amazing event. We have Angelique and David Norrie coming in, another set of company millionaires. Jessica Johnson, a company millionaire. We got all sorts of people that are going to be here. We've got Dr. Paul Sierra is going to be in. Sarah Rickner is going to be in. We've got a lineup that's going to be so exciting. So if you're not registered for that, get registered. But what's beautiful about it, it's a more intimate environment where you can actually run into me in the bathroom. For example, we really get in and get our hands dirty. And I know my husband's about to run, we're going to be doing something on this connecting piece, and he is extremely excited about it. So I'm telling you what, it would be worth your while to get here. If you haven't made plans to get here, make plans. It will change your life. So that said, I had to give that little plug. I want to remind everybody, again, the seed in you is to produce the tree. Every seed has a tree in the future, doesn't it? Every seed has a plant or a tree. I like to think of an oak tree, like the seed of an oak. Like if we're going to be that tree, that end result, there needs to be nourishing. You may not have been nourished up until this point. I heard somebody say the day that changed his life was the day he heard some motivational speaker or something that was speaking opposite of what he was ever used to hearing. He was raised in a horrible situation, but yet then he heard something in the other room. Somebody had something on, and he was listening, and it changed his life. I believe he said it was Earl Nightingale, which again, these are people who will speak life to you, that will change the trajectory of your life if you allow it. But it's not just listening, although it does help, because whatever we hear, and that's another discipline, is what are we listening to? What are we watching? How are we speaking? Because life and death are in the power of the tongue. And the more we speak life, and again, how does that happen? If you're accustomed to and we're raised in death talk, which is usually all around us, you hear it all the time. Oh, this is killing me, or that's killing me, or this is, this is so hard, and all this kind of negative stuff. If you were raised listening to that, then that habit you've got to break. And guess what? You can. Henry Ford said it. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. So the point is, what is it that you're saying matters? It's the closest to your own ears. It vibrates through your being. Write it out. If you don't have good self-talk, then start to write out a definition of who you want to be, who you anticipate you will become. Maybe you can't believe it right now. Maybe it sounds like a lie. I don't care. If you call it forth, your mind, and then start to put dream pictures around. Put things around you. Like maybe the thought of just going to Europe or going on a trip to Disney or having something is beyond your reach right now, start to put things around you and watch how your mind, there's something in your mind, in your brain called the reticular activating system. And that reticular activator actually it causes you to be driven towards the very things that it's listening for or seeing or what you're saying. So if you continually say, I'm stupid, or I'm this, or I'm that, or whatever negative thing you say, I don't even like to say them, but you change it. Man, I am so intelligent. People love to listen to me. Like, it doesn't matter what the past has shown. It doesn't matter. The future holds something different depending upon what you're saying about yourself. Don't let people or things or past experiences, the past doesn't equal the future. Those things can be moved, and then you call forth those things that are not yet as though they were. And as you move towards those things, what will start to happen, you're going to start to see that these things, like, think of, I don't know if you've ever thought about this. You've thought about maybe purchasing a red Corvette or a Corvette or whatever, and all of a sudden you never saw them around, and now all of a sudden you're driving and you see them everywhere. That's the reticular activating system in action. So that's the importance of that. Consistency. I just want you to know that I pray that you guys will start to really believe, because the truth is, I believe it and I receive it. What are you hearing? What are you watching? What are you saying? All matter. So start to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, no one's going to believe in you. It so much matters how much you care and love yourself. And for some people, I think it involves forgiving yourself, not holding on to things. Maybe you think you're not good enough. Guys, it's all a lie from the enemy. You're good enough. You're as good as anybody else. If anybody's had success, so can you. Especially if you're doing something and you follow the tracks of someone that's successful and they're telling you how to do it. If you do it to a T, and if you don't know the answers or you're not sure, ask. Most successful people in life, unless they're in some kind of competitive industry, will share the things that they know to help you. Look, I didn't meet with the top of this industry, really the top of my industry I was with yesterday. I didn't go there, to tell him how great I am and all I know. No, I went there with my pen and piece of paper and my notepad and took notes on how to avoid some of the mistakes. I even said to avoid some of the mistakes you've made. He said something about, no, I've made mistakes. Well, that's why I'm here. I don't want to make them. What's the best way to do what we do is to get involved with people who are as successful or more successful and start to ask some questions. Start to ask some questions and then do the do. Take the action steps to get to where you guys, you can do it. I just feel like there's some people feeling like they can't. I always said to my kids, never did anything. They never did anything. Take action, discipline yourself. Watch, if you're going to eat the pizza, well, that's a choice you're making. If you keep doing it, if you're a cook or you're a chef and you keep picking at everything while you go, that's a choice you're making. If your decision is not to go on the walk, if your decision is not to exercise, that's a choice that over time builds up. That's a physical choice. So I'm looking at physical shape. That's the same thing that applies for our businesses. If you choose not to make the calls, if you choose, the easy way out, because some of the decisions and disciplines that we need to make to have success and get to the top of the stairwell, guys, it's a staircase. It's not hard to get there, but enjoy the process. It doesn't just happen. It requires you to work and get out of your own way. But when you make the daily steps, just daily little steps. Don't overwhelm yourself. If you're looking to get good at, Instagram, or you're looking to get good at some social media platform, take the daily steps necessary to get there. But then evaluate. Every now and again, evaluate where you're at and ask yourself, is it providing the success that is, are you having success? If you're not, then you need to stop what you're doing. You're not looking to get a whole bunch of likes somewhere. That's not what we're all about. What's that all about? You're looking to have it to be productive, right? So you got to evaluate what you're doing. Anyway, I hope today's call helped. It was more motivational today than usual. I just really wanted to speak to, the fact that we just really do have a lot. There's a lot of people that are walking well below the level of success. I mean, even myself, I always preaching at myself. I feel like there's so much more. And many of you might think, oh, you already have all this success. Well, that's great. But you know what? There's so much more. There's so many things that we can do to help more people, to exhort more people, to get more people off the streets, to help, what can we do to help this world become a better place? And so on that note, I just want you to ask yourself, who can I help today? So Father, I lift them up, those listening to this call, and I just pray that you would bless them, anoint their steps, Father. I pray that you would provide, and for those that don't know Jesus as their Lord and Savior, if you haven't done that yet, we definitely, we always want to give you an opportunity to do that. It's as simple as saying, hey, Lord, I want you to be, the Lord of my life, Jesus, that you are what does Lord mean? The boss, right? Really, you want to be submitted, but what is it? Who is Jesus? And so if you haven't done that, just do that in your own time. You can actually, when we hang up, just say, she talks a lot about God. I want to know you, and just have this conversation. And you can see, like, I'm just kind of saying things, but it says that you believe that Jesus is Lord. You want him to be Lord of your life, and you believe that God raised him from the dead. He was put here on point, and he came on point to die a bloody death, because that blood sacrifice actually is what we can call on to, because there's a separation, right, between us and God. That blood sacrifice that he came on point to live this perfect life, and that's who you look at as an example in Christianity. Don't look at people. I don't want to hear, oh, they're hypocrites. That's kind of an ignorant statement when we're not even supposed to be looking at people. We're supposed to look at the life of Jesus. He came on point, though, to die a bloody death. I'm not saying you have to do that, but the truth is he did that so that he could separate or sever the divide between us and God by calling on that blood to wash away, for lack of a better way to put it, the sin. Because we all screw up. We've all done it. We've lost our patience. We've stolen. We've lied. We've lusted. Whatever the case may be. And just by saying that and repenting of those things and turning and submitting your life to him, guess what? Things will change. He'll start to reveal things to you. The Bible comes alive. So that's just a quick overview of what it takes to be what's called born again, that you're born in the same spirit. And then of course everything, when that happened for me, guys, I was 34 years old, and it was like I was in a dark hole and a light bulb went on. So it completely transformed my life. It was like I looked at everything differently. And of course people have always been on my heart, but this just drives me more. And the more people you can help succeed, the more success you're going to have in life, and the more happiness. So guys, if you haven't done that, go for it. I love you guys so much. I know some of you I don't even know that well. I still love you because Jesus in me loves you so much. Did you know how much Jesus loves you? If you don't, I'm telling you today, he loves you so much. Let's go out and ask ourselves, who can I help today? God bless everybody.